Hey, it's my third episode already. I think I'm going to really dig this channel because I could just kind of snap out a few books from my spinner rack, go over them pretty quick, bring back some memories, and I'll keep the other channel to explore bigger themes. I have one with Guy Gardner that I got planned soon, and what can I say? You're going to love it. New Gods was before my time. When I first really learned of Kirby was when he was on Captain America, and then Black Panther, and then this thing called the Eternals that I was totally disinterested in, and I still am because I don't know. I just don't think it's his best stuff. His Machine Man I love. Now this came out way before my time, but I seem to remember seeing it as a kid. But what's scary about it is that part of it is it's scary. I bought this just like 2 years ago out of the dollar bin. Is compared to every other comic that was out there, it was angry, it was vulgar, it was crude, and for all the right reasons. It actually was. I mean, Kirby was really standing out. It may not have been the most commercial stuff that he did like he did in the 60s, but it's just pounding away at you, like demanding your attention. It took me a long time to really get into the New Gods because, like I said, I didn't grow up with them. So, but such great characters. Bug. That is a beautiful. I'd love to see a cosplayer wear that. And there's just so much neat stuff going on. And at the time, I didn't appreciate that Kirby was the only one who was thinking big picture by coming out with 3 or 4 books that intertwined in for a common reason. Darkseid has to be stopped, and his minions and others. And look how crude and scarred Orion is. I mean, it's not one of these smiley things where you just shake it off and you put on your suit and go back to your job and you don't have any scars on your face. So, but I mean, I love it now. I got all the hardcover books that came out a while back, and wow, good stuff. It's falling apart because it came out of my spinner rack, and I don't want to be precious with my stuff in my spinner rack. Inhumans. I really like this book. I came along with issue 2, I think. Keith Pollard cover, inked by some guy named Bradford. He shows up a couple of times in this era. I've mentioned him on my other channel. Don't know who he is. So I'm like, wow, this is great. I love the superhero costumey Inhumans that Kirby created. But you know what? In all honesty, well, the movie sucked for one thing. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about that. But although it's too late, the Jay Lee. Paul Jenkins version was less costumey. It's probably a better representation of what the humans should look like, not just superheroes. So I opened it up, and it didn't continue from last issue. It's a reprint. Good old Bronze Age reprints just come up and sneak up on you. So this reprint was from 1970, and Jack Kirby was getting writer and artist credit. Stan was throwing him a bone because he could tell that Jack was being disinterested and not really, he just, wow, beautiful stuff. This reprints 2 issues from Amazing Adventures, but it's a standard size book because at the time, in 1970, Marvel tried to revive the split book thing that got them popular in the mid-60s, like Tales of Suspense, Strange Tales, and Tales to Astonish, where they only had 10 pages for Iron Man, 12 pages for Cap, and it goes right into that. I love that big old dog, Lockjaw. I love that. Really cool, even though it was like, a fill-in. It was one I never read before, so hey, why not? Now we're going to Captain Marvel. Another cover by Pollard, penciling and inking. He came out of the gate like super professional. So Scott Elderman has been the writer for a very brief time after, what was it? It was like Steve Englehart left, Gary Conway took over, and then briefly Chris Claremont did an issue or 2, and Scott Elderman stayed for a while. George Tuska and Terry Austin. This was another one of those very educational issues where I learned what an inker can do. Because Tuska has some books most of his books are pretty good, but they're kind of done by meat and potatoes type inkers, like Mike Esposito and stuff like that. And I'm sorry, I apologize, Mr. Esposito. I don't mean to be rude, because you have done some great stuff. But for some reason on Iron Man, I wasn't keen on it. Very brief time, Wonder Man went maskless and just had the goggles, and they changed his costume briefly. And then I always loved the costume. But, yeah, look how sharp. I mean, that's an Al Milgrom panel right there. And if I didn't point that out to you, you wouldn't know. God, he was just... And I think Austin also came from the... what was it? The Neil Adams studio? Continuity? Nitro. What's interesting, though, is earlier Nitro was a story where Captain Marvel got nerve gas and later got cancer. And this wasn't mentioned before because Jim Starlin, he came up with the idea, and there wasn't any need to mention this because Captain Marvel was not told to, or it wasn't revealed, like a lot of things. I mean, cancer could be gradual or it could be immediate. The last panel on this page, definitely Dave Cockrum. And here's Dave Cockrum. Let's see, after Gene Colan, even though they're substantially different, but I think they just wanted to wrap the story up and move on because Pat Broderick and Doug Mensch came along. Okay, Moon Knight. I took a liking to him right off the bat. And my camera doesn't, but I do. There we go. Conquer Lord. Okay. Kirby cover. I didn't see the previous issue. This is a two-parter. I love these kind of books. It's Don Perlin, penciling and inking. And Doug Mensch co-created, they both co-created Moon Knight in issue 2 of Werewolf by Night. And I loved how the cape attached to his wrists. I can't figure out, it isn't practical, I know, but it made him stand out from everybody else. And it's just a brilliant design. The best thing is, see, in the 70s, every other page was ads. I think I had a Hulk mirror sometime. I don't remember. But, as you could tell, the merch was very threadbare. There wasn't a whole lot of it. Come on. And Don Perlin, I never heard of him. He also was inking Tusk on some stuff, and it was very sharp. See all sweet stuff here. Good. I really enjoyed that. Years later, here comes Moon Knight in his own title at last, with Doug Mensch, co-creator, and this new Neil Adams kind of guy, Bill Sienkiewicz, came along, and they did this book for like 3 years. I mean, no real fill-in, just occasional fill-in, very rare. And here Sienkiewicz is inking himself. He had a variety of inkers early on. The one I really liked was Klaus Janson, of course. Here's my problem with this issue. It's a great story, and I read it, and I loved it. Probably reread it a couple of times when I got it. I hate 4-panel grids. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing sensational about it. It's just not a Marvel book. I mean, I'm sure it was a test. Later on, Adam Kubert was doing this stuff on the Hulk, and it kind of turned me off too, because it's just, I don't know. But thankfully, this is the only issue, to my understanding, that, alas, poor York. I wish I had known myself half as well as I've known you. He's going through a breakdown, emotional breakdown, because the supposed statue of Khonshu was destroyed by the Midnight Man. So, good story. Hate that, but it was easy to read and it was fun. Wild Animals by Pacific Comics. Pacific Comics was a distributor out in the West Coast. And back then, you had a lot of choices for different distributors when you were a comic shop. And Scott Shaw, who I first met, as a lot of people did, in What If #7, which had the man spider, like what if a man bit a spider, and it was done by Scott Shaw, and it's hilarious as hell. And then later on, no, maybe this was before that. I gotta look at the Indicia. Hello. Oh, 1982. Okay, this is after Captain Carrot and his Amazing Zoo Crew, which I loved. Look at that stuff. It almost looks underground. You know, but as far as I know, there's no sex involved, which is usually part of the underground feel. Good stuff, good stuff. Captain Victory and Silver Star. I'll have to share these with you sometime, because, of course, I ignored them at the time, because I just thought, the later Kirby stuff, blah. No. This is really dark. It's really edgy. And this is pretty cool, too. It's a little corny, but it's also... it stuck up on me, and I liked it. So, all right, buddies, all you buddies. And that's it. And you can see I got comic chips everywhere. See? All right, well, enjoy your day. Talk to you later. Bye.